Operators and expressions in JavaScript is one of the core concepts. It enables us to perform basic to complex computation and manipulation of our data, like string comparison or math operations or assignments of values to the variables, where operators are symbols in JavaScript that are used to perform operations on variables and values, and expressions are units of code that can be evaluated and resolved into a new value. We use expressions to perform operations using the operators in JavaScript, and those expressions could resolve to a new value. There are the commonly used types of operators in JavaScript that we will cover all of them in this course. Those are arithmetic operators, comparison operators, logical operators, assignment operators, and ternary operator. Let's start with the arithmetic operators. Let me copy these two lines of code. A equal to 10 and B equal to 5. If I were to write the simplest expression possible with these two variables, it would be A plus B. And this is a valid expression in JavaScript. As we already mentioned, it could possibly resolve into a new value because we are adding the value of A plus value of B. That resulting value could be 15 in this case. Since it's resolving into a new value, we could already store it into a variable. And now RS contains the result of this operation. If I want to write it under the console, I will say console log RS. And here I have 15 in the log screen. It's also possible to do with the A minus B, and it's going to do the minus operation. We have, let me print it first, SB, and the result is 5. Okay, let's do for the multiplication, ML equal to A into B. And if I want to print it, then I get 50 into the result screen. And we have division, dv for division, A dividing B. Here I would have 2 as the result. We have another one which is modulus, MD, A modulus B. And this is actually going to checks for the remainder. The actual operation done using this operator is the division operation, but it will check for the remainder. Let's see what is the result in this case. MD, and if I print, the result is 0 because after the division of 10 by 5 we get 0. If I change 5 to 3, now I should get 1 as the result of this operation. We could actually write more complex expressions using parentheses. Let's say I have CMP for complex as the variable. I could use the set of parentheses and I could say A plus B into A minus B. Using parentheses in JavaScript, you can build a bit more complex expressions, and here the rules of mathematics applies. So we will, if I'm not wrong, the values or variables inside the parentheses will be resolved first, and then it will get resolved as a whole. Now if I want to print the CMP, sorry, then I get 91 as the result. Let's start with the comparison operators. let me copy the two variables, x equal to 10 as a number, and I have y equal to 10 as a string. So we already know that whatever comes inside single quote or double quote, it's treated as a string in JavaScript. And let's start with the equal to equal operator. Let me number it here, and that is using double equal to in JavaScript. So here I could say x equal to y, and this expression returns a boolean. If x equal to y, then if they are equal, then it outputs as true, otherwise as false. And how the equal to works, it checks only for the content. Here the contents are identical because 10 and 10, and regardless of the types, because the types are different. But equal to operator in JavaScript does not check for the types. In this case, it should return true. Let us store it in a variable, and let's check it on the console log. Let me print. I get true. And the next one is identity or strict equal. And in JavaScript we have triple equal to for this. Here it actually checks for both content and types. And in this example it should return false because the type for x is number and the type for y is a string. However, the contents are the same, but it should return false. Let's say let IEQ equal to x triple equal to y. Sorry. And now if I try to console log it, I should get, let me label it so that we know it's for the identity. So the identity is false, and that's true because the contents are same but the types are different based on the definition. Now if I go with the third one, which is not equal, and in JavaScript we use exclamation mark and an equal to sign. Here if I say x not equal to y, then we already know that it should return false because they are equal to. And in this case also it checks for contents. But if you want to make sure that it checks for contents and for types, then you could actually change it to something like this. Let me write here for types and content, then you should write like this, not equal to. Let's see this first, console.log, and I would say not equal. Here if I store it in EQ, let's print it and see what do we get. I get NEQ. I had it from before, let me just paste it back there. Okay, then I get not equal to as false because they are equal. But if you want to check it in a restricted form, then you can add another equal to, and then this time it should result as true because based on the definition contents are the same but types are different, and in this case it should return false. It should return true. Fourth, we are checking for greater, let me write it complete, greater than equal to, and the symbol in JavaScript, so it's only greater than. The symbol in JavaScript is closing angle bracket. So if I say x greater than y, we should receive as the result false, because x and y are having the exact values. Then it's already not satisfying the condition. Let's say GE greater, or just G, and let's console log it. Let me check the value. It's false because 10 is not greater than 10. However, they are equal. Now 50 is greater than or equal to, and for that we use closing angle bracket again with an equal. And here if I say x greater than or equal to y, then it should return true because one condition satisfies here. And let's store it into a variable GE, and let's console log GE comma GE. If I see, I get true as the result here. Okay, now we have less than and less than equal to. For that one, I can copy these lines of code and I can change it. So here we have less than. For the less than, you use opening angle bracket and change this one. If I now check this one, then I should get again false because 10 is not less than 10. And in the other case, we have the same for less than equal to. Then let me change the operator here and the variable also. Let's change the description of this to LE. Now if I try to run it, they are the less than operator throws false because 10 is not less than 10. But when you say less than or equal to this one, then we get true because 10 is less than or equal to 10. Let's just start with the logical operators. Let me copy the variables. Condition 1 equal to true and condition 2 equal to false. Let's just start with the first one, 1, and it's AND. In JavaScript you have the ampersand as the operator for this, and by definition it says if all conditions are true, then true, otherwise false. Here if I say condition 1 and condition 2, so it should return false. Let's just store it into a variable. Let's call it AND, and if I console log it, I should get false. Yep. The other one is number 2, OR, and in JavaScript you use double pipe for it. Here by definition it says if either of the conditions are true, is true, then true, otherwise. And here if I try to copy paste this one, and here I use pipe operators. Let's change it to OR, and let's change this label as well to variable. So I get true because one of the condition is already true, and it checks only if there is one condition satisfied. Then number 3 is not, and this is by the exclamation mark in JavaScript. It's always the opposite of the condition. So if you pass true, it will make it false, and if you pass false, it makes it true. Let's say I have let not equal to not condition 1, and condition 1 is true. Not condition 1 will make it false. Console.log not and not. So now the result for this is false because it's changed. The next set of operators are assignment operators. Let's copy the variable here. And we already used assignment operator throughout the course, and that was the equal to that we used. So the first operator in this set of operators is the equal to, which is called assignment operator. And here we have c equal to 10, then we are already assigning 10, which is the value as number, into the variable c. Let's start with, let's say I have another variable c1 and I want to store the value of c into it. Then we say c1 equal to c, and if I console log now, then I should get 10 for c1 as well. There are some shorthands for the assignment operators, and they are useful when you don't want to write a bit more codes, and you just want to simplify it. And that is, let's say if there was not the shorthand operators, what we could do if we wanted to add a value 5 to the variable c, we could say c plus 5, and since this is an expression, we want the result, we should store it into a new variable, let's say c2. This was how we could do it without the shorthand operators, but shorthand operators give us another opportunity to make it a bit simpler, and that is c plus equal to 5. Now I'm not interested into a different variable, and I'm directly adding 5 to the c. Now if I try to console log it, let me comment this, console.log, and let me say plus equal to. If I run it, I should get 15. It was 10, and we just added 5 to it. We also have minus equal to. Let's say I'm minusing 1, then it should get 14. We have divide equal to by 2. Now we should get 7. And if I modulus equal to 3, I get remainder as 1. Let's finish this part with ternary operator in the list. I have a syntax here. I could copy this one. And it's quite simple if we understand it correctly. In ternary operator, we have a question mark and a colon. And that simply says that if this condition is true, and we already know that a condition can be an expression, simple or complex. The idea is that this condition should return or resolve to a value, a Boolean value, either true or false. And condition question mark means if this expression or this condition returns true, then execute this part. Otherwise, this is else, or colon, this colon is else, or otherwise execute this part. Let's put it into an example. Let's say we are serving people with beverages. Those above 18 are served with beer, otherwise with a cola. Let's say I have age for this person as 15 years old. And let's define another variable called the beverage. And this variable will store a beer or a cola based on the age. Now I define the condition, the first part. So I say age greater than 18. And we already know that this expression is returning a Boolean. So age greater than 18, if that is so, return beer. Colon means otherwise a cola. Now this beverage variable contains either beer or cola based on the age that we passed with. Let's console log it. We have cola for age 15. If I change it to 20, we have beer. And that's it for the ternary operator. That's it for today's episode. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Feel free to drop your question in the comment section below. Till our next session, happy coding.